outages in Kenya are disrupting the country's biggest airport in Nairobi. On Sunday, much of the country was paralysed by a total blackout, the third major outage in as many months. Kenya's transport minister is calling for an investigation. He's calling it possible acts of sabotage and cover-up. Meanwhile, Kenya's power company says it was a sinister disturbance. Whatever the cause, it's a major problem for Kenya's Airways CEO, Allan Kilavuka, who's with me now. Good to see you. Sir, I think just to remind you, I got this magnificent, you probably can't see me, but I'm showing this magnificent blanket, which I'm now displaying to all concerned, when I was on the inaugural flight to New York, which I suppose was in happier days. The reality is that the airline's not made a profit for as many years as I can remember. Your fleet size is relatively small, even though you are undergoing a fleet renewal. And it begs the question, besides the warm, toasty feeling that Kenyans have, what role does the airline have?
First of all, how are you? Good day, Richard. Thank you for inviting me for this interview. So Kenya Airways plays a very critical role, not just in Kenya, but in Africa. We are one of the larger carriers in Africa. We fly to 35 countries across Africa and to most of the continental destinations around the world. So we are critical because we make sure that the Africa is connected to the world and the world connects to Africa in a seamless fashion. We also try and encourage to grow the cargo, because cargo is important for trade. Now, you mentioned a very nostalgic one, Richard, the blanket. I can't see it, unfortunately, but that's 5 years ago. And that particular route has been extremely important for us because we are the only carrier which flies from East Africa directly to North America.
But wouldn't you benefit hugely from the complete deregulation of air routes in Africa? You've got a hodgepodge of you've got yourselves, obviously, who was just established, South African, which who knows, you've got a whole hodgepodge of other carriers, many of whom are only alive by dint of government money. And I'm just looking at a map of Africa and I'm looking at your route structure now. Wouldn't you be better if air travel was deregulated in Africa and you could become a Pan-African airline with multiple hubs, exactly as the United States or the EU?
That is exactly correct. But more important than the liberalization of the airline, of the airspace, what is more important is reduction of cost of operations. Operating in Africa is very complex, as probably you know, Richard, already. And the cost of operating in Africa is extremely high, probably twice more than any other continent. So we need not just to liberalize, but more importantly, to reduce costs of operating.
Okay, well, hang on. You say reduce costs. But so you've got two types of costs. You've got fuel costs, you've got capital costs of the aircraft. Not much you can do about those. But you're talking about costs of operations, airports in remote parts of the country. It costs more expensive to do this. The infrastructure is so poor, and the corruption that an airport that gets built or a runway that gets built costs 5 times as more than it might have cost somewhere else.
Yeah. So exactly the point. Cost of operating is extremely high, much higher than any other place that you operate in Africa, in the world. And then you have an infrastructure deficit or poor infrastructure. We need to train more people. So that is where the problem is, much more than freeing up the airspace. That is where we need to settle.
So let me go to a heresy for you, if I may. If we bear in mind that SAS is about to become part of Air France KLM, Swiss has been part of the Lufthansa group, Iberia and BA are part of the Spanish IAG, wouldn't you be better off? I know I can hear people in Kenya frothing at the mouth, about to throw something at the television. But wouldn't you be better off selling yourself to a private airline or another carrier and being part of a bigger group, an Emirates, an Etihad, or Qatar, and be doing it that way than trying to. You're 40-odd planes, sir. You cannot make an impact in global aviation at the size that you are.
Yeah, no, I think, I mean, I'm not sure about, the airlines you mentioned, but what is more important is what you said, which is important, is consolidation. We definitely need to scale up, not just as Kenya, but as African airlines. So what I've been championing since I took this role is consolidation of the African airlines industry. So we need to come together, like you said, Pan-African Airline Group, come together as different airlines and scale, develop more scale to grow from 40-odd aircraft to double that number or triple that number. And Africa is a large continent. Right. Okay, so and then together reducing cost of operating and then scaling up or consolidating of the airline industry, those two things together will definitely help to alleviate the problem and make us more viable. That's for sure.
Sir, I'm grateful and I'm looking forward to being on one of your planes again. Whatever the financials of the company, the warmth on board is excellent and beyond measure. Thank you, sir. We'll